What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Locked In Sports Podcast. Another weekend of baseball is in the books. Luis is still rocking the goatee. Luis, how you doing?
How we do? It is Monday morning. It is a wonderful, wonderful morning. How are you doing this morning? How's your weekend?
Good. First weekend of baseball games, coaching. As you can see, I got pretty sunburned. I look like a Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer with my nose, and my forehead is burnt to a crisp because I did not wear a hat and I forgot to wear sunscreen. So I had my sunglasses on, so I have like a bit of a sunglasses tan, and then I look like Rudolph. But it was good. It was good.
I mean, Unc, you're looking like Unc out here, man. Like with you're not beating the Unc allegations.
Yeah,
your takes out here. I don't know if you guys have seen the Dodger emotes and now William not wearing the hat and everything. I mean, allegations out here getting pretty strong.
Yeah, we posted that clip to the Instagram I guess it was from last Monday's episode, talking about how the Dodgers emote after every hit they get. And you're lucky I didn't include you in that clip because you had some comments too. But yeah, we're getting a lot of Dodger fans have found that clip. But it is, I mean, a lot of other fans, it seemed, have enjoyed the clip because it is a lot of people are watching it, I guess.
But I mean, how's the ball club doing? You know, how's the team doing? Not winning games? Are you? What do y'all focus on? Y'all focus on running the base pass? Well, y'all like a Tampa Bay Rays run the base pass type of team. Y'all a defensive team where Milwaukee Brewers with platinum glovers are just dingers only.
So I coached two teams, 13-14 and 11-12. We lost the 13-14-year-old game. It was like 10-2. We didn't play that well in that game, but we were also playing against a team that had like 16-year-olds, which was kind of garbage in my opinion. But so we lost that game, got some work to do with that team. And then 11-12, we destroyed the other team we played. I think it was like 12-0. We had our pitcher threw like a no-hitter and struck out like 20 batters. It was insane. He's pretty good. He's got some talent. So we got some ball players on both teams. We didn't have enough players for the 13-14-year-old team that were 13 or 14. So we had to have some guys from the 11-12 play up, which obviously not ideal. We were missing some guys for that team. But yeah, the 11-12 had a really good game. The dude that threw the no-hitter also had like 2 home runs. So yeah, he was balling out. Player of the weekend for sure.
Tarik Skubal, Carlos Zambrano mix right there.
I guess. I mean, he's a righty, so I don't know. Prime Jacob deGrom. Yeah, I mean, we got to throw this guy every game, it seems like.
So what's up with the 10-2 game? What's up with the bullpen? You know, bad Aaron Boone bullpen management. What's going on?
A lot of walks. We had, I think, like 16 walks in that game. So we got some work to do in practice this week with some command issues that we're working through. But yeah, if we could have won that game if we just threw strikes. But we didn't throw strikes. So.
That sounds like if I would have scored the ball more in the basket, we would have won that game.
I mean, you're not going to beat anybody with 16 walks. You know, that's just too many. Way too
many. But off to the coaching careers, off to a great start. You know, maybe in the future you're coaching the Yankees. You're better Aaron Boone management, bullpen management out here. You know,
maybe. I don't think long term I'm gonna I'll be I enjoy it for sure, but I don't know if it's something I want to do my whole life.
Hey, it's all good, but yeah, I mean, it sounds like you had a great weekend in Chicago. I had a good weekend out here in Miami. I was out on the beach yesterday. I accidentally ended up on the beach yesterday. Had a good time. Let's put it that way.
I'm happy for you.
Had a good time, but let's get this podcast rolling. We're already 4 minutes in. Let's talk about what happened this weekend in Major League Baseball. This weekend, as we always start out the podcast, we always do our Yankee report with our resident Yankee fan aficionado, William Locke. And with this weekend, it was a tough weekend for the Yanks, for the Bombers in the Bronx. They opened a 3-game set out in New York versus the Red Sox. And the Yankees ended up only winning 1 out of 3. Friday night, Yankees won 9-6. That was a great game. Yankees pretty much controlled the whole game. Bullpen was kind of meh. Saturday, the Red Sox came and gave a BTA session to the Yankees, 10-7 win. Yarbrough was not great. Aaron Boone, going to have to talk about that guy. And then Sunday, the Red Sox won again 11-7. Another tough day for the pitching rotation and bullpen for the Yankees. The only redeeming quality is that Aaron Judge went 3 for 4 and 2 homers. Let's talk about it. I think this is a very, in my opinion, I don't think this is a great weekend. I think this is a frustrating weekend. I think the Red Sox played out of their minds.
The pitching sucked. That's the takeaway from this series. You go up big in game one, you take a 7-0 lead, and you let the Red Sox get back into the game. Will Warren was strong for the first 4 innings, and then once he got into the 6th, like the 5th and the 6th, he ran out of gas, and he only threw 84 pitches. So that was frustrating on Friday. And then Brent Hendrick, I think it's there's a lot of questions I think coming out of this weekend from the bullpen. Hendrick really struggled. 2 earned runs on Friday and Sunday. He has not been great. So you let the Red Sox get back into the game on Friday. Even though you win the game, I think you gave those bats a little bit of confidence, maybe moving into the weekend, and then you give up 10 runs on Saturday in a game, again, that you could have won. You were in that game. It was back and forth. You get to Crochet in the 2nd inning, and then you give up a 5 spot in the 3rd inning just because I guess you could expect this Yarbrough start was coming. He's been strong all season as a starter. But when he's not locating, and he wasn't locating on Saturday night with the less, the lower velocities that he's throwing at, teams are going to take advantage. The Red Sox teed off on him on Saturday. He wasn't good. Then you move to the bullpen. Bullpen struggled a little bit too. Ian Hamilton came in the 9th inning and gave up those 2 earned runs, which were huge insurance runs for the Red Sox, and they take care of business. Ian Hamilton had a really rough weekend.
He did indeed.
And then Sunday night, Rodon, first not great start in a while, 5 innings, 5 earned runs, gave up that home run to Carlos Narvaez in the 6th inning, kind of like I would say a hanging slider, and that made it 5-3 Red Sox, and the Yankees didn't really get close from there. Fernando Cruz struggled in relief. Cruz, Loaizaga, and Hedrick all gave up 2 earned runs in relief last night on Sunday Night Baseball. Rafael Devers continued to crush the Yankees, as he always does. Aaron Judge hits 2 home runs. It feels like Aaron Judge always hits 2 home runs in games that the Yankees are losing by 5+ runs. Last time it was the Dodgers when we lost 18-2. Now it was this game against Boston. You had Abraham Toro went off against the Yankees this weekend. We let Trevor Story get hot again. Maybe, I don't know. Did we give the Red Sox some momentum after this weekend? We got them next weekend. So it's a huge series next weekend. They're still, 8.5, 9.5 games back in the division. They're still 3 games under 500, but it's a team that has talent. If that lineup gets hot, they can get right back into this thing. So yeah, it was a really frustrating weekend, especially from the pitching side. The bats were there. 9 runs on Friday, 10 on Saturday, 7 on Saturday, 7 on Sunday. The bats were there. Just the pitching stunk.
Hey, Abraham Toro had the weekend of his life. Everybody who you expected to have a bad weekend had a weekend. Christian Campbell has been abysmal at the plate, and the guy ended up getting an RBI little dribbler out to right field yesterday. And then he ended up getting a home run. He ended up pulling a ball all the way to the right field foul pole. It's ridiculous. My biggest thing is, Aaron Boone has to be investigated. We have to really look at, what is up with his bullpen management. You get back, you pave your way back into the game on Saturday night, and your idea is to put Ian Hamilton in. What's this deal? Ian Hamilton has struggled all season. And then you use Brett Hendrick, you don't have Tim Hill at your disposal. What's going on? I just think what this weekend just clearly illustrates is that the Yankees have a need to go get some bullpen arms. And I feel as we're moving towards, July, the trade rumor mill is getting hot. And Nightingale had an article, his Sunday scoop on USA Today, and he talked about teams that are going to be active and teams that are going to be selling. And people are already bracing for there not to be many sellers.
Yep.
And, there's going to be a high need for bullpen arms. I think that's what the Yankees are going to go do. They need bullpen arms. This weekend shows that, number one, Ian Hamilton needs to go down. He needs to go down in AAA and get his stuff right.
Mm-hmm.
He hasn't been right all season. Johnny Loizaga,
I don't know what's going on with him, man.
He's either dotting you on the black inside or that ball's coming in on the hands and hitting you with the sinker. Like, you don't know. Fernando Cruz is okay. He's still working back. And then you have Brett Hendrick.
He's not good enough.
And then Devin Williams, and even Devin Williams started on Friday, wasn't great either. What I'm concerned is that, they go into this little slide and that they rush Luke Weaver back. Just let Luke Weaver sit till July. They said he had a PRP injection and that he's like starting to rehab. We don't need to rush him and him to get hurt again. Just let him cook till the All-Star break.
Yeah.
And just wait for him to come back and then go on the stretch run. Go find yourself another righty arm and a lefty arm. I think 2 bullpen arms are needed because you can agree nobody in that bullpen inspires confidence. And what's up too? Mark Leiter Jr. wasn't used this weekend at all. Like
they used him on Saturday for 14 pitches.
Yeah, but still, like you don't use pitchers 3 consecutive days. You wouldn't use them last night when you paved your way back into the game yesterday.
The bullpen got taxed last night. Cruz 16 pitches, Tim Hill 5, Loizaga 25, Ian Hamilton 7, Brett Hendrick 36. The one shining light in the bullpen this weekend, of all people, was Yerry De Los Santos, who went 38 pitches on Saturday, 3 innings, no earned runs. He was great, but the game was kind of out of reach at that point. But he was our best reliever this weekend.
I think Yerry's not bad. I just think you just can't expect Yerry to give you like elite, Yeah. But it'd be like that. Like Yerry's like last survivor. And the thing is, like, you expected Yarborough and Rodon to have these bad starts.
At some point, yes.
At some point. Yarborough just couldn't locate at all. Like, couldn't locate the fastball. And I feel like locating the fastball is probably the most important thing when it comes to a starting pitcher. If you can't locate a fastball, you're just walking, guys. You can't win a baseball game, as we said earlier.
I think I'd feel better about Yarborough if he was like, thank you for your service as a starting pitcher. You gave us 5 or 6 good starts, whatever. Once Heel comes back, I really think they should move him back into the bullpen, and he's like a long relief option or, just a strong lefty reliever option for us, because I worry as people get, now there's a bunch of film out there on him. There's a bunch of data, and teams are probably making adjustments off what they've seen through the first 7 starts or whatever from him. Not that there hadn't been already, but he's changed some things this year with the Yankees, like the changeup grip and stuff like that. I think maybe sliding him back into the bullpen would be a nice lefty, like in replace of Hendrick, because I think Hendrick has an option. I think we should probably send him down, and I think Yarborough should slot back in. You got Efros still on the shelf. You got Cousins,
Clayton Beater.
It's like
None of them inspire confidence for them to be like good bullpen arms.
No,
because I think right now you're looking at, in a playoff scenario, you're looking at Weaver 9, Devin 8, Cruz, Mark Leiter 7. But who's your lefty option? Tim Hill.
Tim Hill, and he's kind of up and down. He's not lights out. There's no.
And then who's your other righty option if you have to go deep with Cruz and Leiter? You need one more.
You would think it would be Loizaga if he's on. He's got the best stuff out of everyone else.
You can't locate. That's the thing. You can't locate. He's plunking guys.
I know. Right now he is, but when he's on, he's got the best stuff out of like Hamilton, and like Yerry De Los Santos, even like Efros or Beater or Cousins. I think he's a peg above those guys.
I mean, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, it's just that Yarborough, like 2 winnable games this weekend where Yarborough wasn't locating at all. Like he wasn't locating the fastball, and I don't think Wells was doing him any justice. Like Wells wasn't buying him any calls, and like you got mad because I'm crying for JC Escara because JC Escara is so good defensively and so good of a framer that like there were so many calls that JC would have. I won't say he would have got, but he would have made it difficult, and he could have like got a favorable call, a strike, instead of a ball with a high fastball. And that changes the count. And as a hitter, instead of being up 2-1, the difference between 2-1 and 1-2 is completely different. You have a different strategy at the plate. How do you coach your kids?
Yeah, no, I for sure. 1-2 versus 2-1 is a huge difference. We actually, how we were talking about the Yankees and catchers, how we've developed a lot of catchers, whatever. Maybe Buster only listens to the podcast, because last night on the broadcast, he said he compared the Yankee catching development system to LSU and wide receivers. And we're talking, and we coined Yankee catching development as Catcher U. I don't know. Maybe he saw the clip on Instagram.
Well, we loaded up that clip on Instagram. Like, where's our credit? Like, ESPN, like, come on. Like, if you need a writer, like, to find data and stats, like, hit us up. Like we're here, But in regard to that, like, the Yarborough game really, like, irks me. Like, that was such a winnable game. And last night was such a winnable game. It's just, Boston was not good, but they were not bad. They were just above average.
I mean, you got 5 earned runs off Crochet, and you lose because Yarborough gave up 8 earned. Like,
because Boone again. Boone's handing out these long leashes. Like, I understand you have to have trust in your rotation and everything, but come on, dude. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
like,
Yarborough was in the game for way too long.
And then Carlos Rodon had a man on first and second with no outs in the 6th, at the top of the 6th. I'm like, why? Like, he's up to like mid 80s, low 90s, and you're just having him out there just toss. Like, why?
Yeah.
Like, it's like Aaron Boone, man. Like, we literally have to have a conversation. If the playoffs go the same way they have gone, like, go look at his playoff record. Aaron Boone has just made a living off beating Central teams in the postseason. Aaron Boone could be the equivalent to the Yankees of what is Mark Jackson at the Golden State Warriors.
How so?
Well, it's just like this team, when you look at the whole landscape of the AL and you look at the whole thing, this team's ready to win and go deep. But when you look at his playoff for acumen, all he does is just beat AL Central teams. Think about it.
So let me try to do it off the top of my head. 2018, we won the wild card game against the A's and then lost in the DS to the Red Sox. 2019, we lost in the CS to the Astros, won the DS against – who did we win the 2019 DS against? I can't remember. Let me look it up.
I got him right here.
Okay, wait. 2020 I can't remember who the 2019 DS was, but we lost the CS against the Astros in 6.
I don't know.
Then, I got it right here. We beat the Twins. We swept the Twins 3-0. So that's a Central Block team. So his first playoff win was against the A's. Won that game 7-2, and then we lost to the Red Sox 3-1. Beat the Twins in 19, then lost to the Astros. 2020, we won the wild card series against Cleveland. That's another Central Block team. 2020 division series, lost to the Rays. 2021 wild card series, lost to the Red Sox. 2018 wild card game, that was. 2022 ALDS, beat the Guardians, and then lost in the CS to the Astros in 4. 2024, so you didn't make the playoffs in 2023, and then 24 last year, won the DS against the Royals, won the CS against the Guardians, and then lost the World Series to the Dodgers. So Aaron Boone has not beaten a single non-American League Central team in the playoffs in terms of a series. I had the wild card game against the A's in 2018, but yeah, hasn't won a series against a non-Central team. That's interesting.
I'm just saying. I just don't understand some of his managerial decisions. And I feel like it's hard to like view it as a fan and as a, fan of Major League Baseball, because you look at the game from a player's perspective, but like sometimes like you don't think about things till after the game. Like, at least for me, I don't think about the managerial decisions till after the game. Like, I'm either in a player's mind thinking about, okay, 3-2 count, what should he throw? Or I'm thinking about it from a managerial perspective. And like last night, I was watching the game from a manager's perspective, and I was like, why is he still in the game? 85, 88 pitches, 2 men on base. Rodon's clearly not locating. And lo and behold, Carlos Nevaez hits a 3-run homer.
It's game over. Essentially game over at that point.
Again, that point.
Rodon felt off. Like his body language was kind of weird. Like after a couple walks, I was starting to like get a little concerned that he was injured at some points in that start. Kept rubbing his beard. I don't know if you noticed that.
I mean, I noticed that. I mean, it's just like we may be entering a little slump here, my guy.
And I said that.
Maybe that little June slump. I mean, concerning the schedule doesn't get easier. I mean, you're going to face the same 3 pitchers that you faced this weekend, except for who pitched on Friday. I forgot who pitched Friday, but
Bueller. Yeah, so we got Crochet, Dobbins, and then Bayo next weekend.
Yeah, Bayo, which we know how Bayo can get. I mean, Bayo's not great, but if Bayo's on, like he's still a formidable pitcher to face. So you get those 3. You got Kansas City's best 3 today, starting today in Kansas City.
Starting tomorrow. Bubic, Reagans, and Lugo. Yeah, that's a tough series.
No, it's not Lugo. It's Cameron.
I'm looking at it right now. On Fangraphs, they got Bubic, Reagans, and Lugo.
I saw it on ESPN. I saw Cameron pitching on Wednesday.
Yeah, and on Tuesday. I saw that too. That's Fangraphs has got those 3.
It's still either way, that's a tough 3. Whatever 3 you get, it's going to be tough.
Yeah,
like it's not fun, and I mean it's just it clearly shows what they need at the deadline. You're going to need 2 arms, and I feel like we all want a rotation starter or you want a bat, but I think you want to get a bullpen guy, 2 or 3 2 bullpen guys, not 3.
Just to talk about the lineup too, to hit on that, you have Jazz had those tweets after Hunter Dobbins said that if the Yankees were the last team to offer him a contract, he'd retire. Also had Jazz saying that he is now playing at 70% because when he's playing at 100%, he's maybe going a little too hard and doesn't perform as well. And he says he's been playing well at 70%. So, I mean, fair enough, whatever. That's fine. It's a little interesting when I saw that at first, but he's been playing better. He didn't get a hit last night. Volpe got hit in the elbow on Friday, missed Saturday's game, came back Sunday. He's kind of a warrior. I mean, he plays like 160 games a season. Grisham slumping now. Kind of could have seen that. Goldie has been struggling a little bit. And then you got DJ at second, which is I'd rather have Jazz at second and then go trade for a third baseman. He did have a home run last night, but and he plays strong defense too over at second, but it just always feels like every big at bat is falling on 7, 8, 9 in the lineup.
The problem is there's no third baseman in the trade deadline. The only third baseman for you to go acquire is Eugenio Suarez. And I feel like Yankee fans, as you said, I think Yankee fans would lose their head with Eugenio Suarez in the lineup.
Too many strikeouts. Yankee fans would go, if you had Eugenio Suarez and Giancarlo Stanton in the same lineup, Yankee fans would go crazy with all the strikeouts. It would remind me of what we saw from the Yankees basically every season before this with the strikeouts. Great power bat for sure,
and Jazz just doesn't look right defensively at third base. He just doesn't. Like he's good, but he's not like great. And I know and I will just say this: some boomer last night was probably Jazz stop talking when he made that error on Sunday Night Baseball when he had the mic on. Some boomer was going crazy.
I like Jazz at third. He's good enough to play that position. I love his willingness to just play wherever the team needs him. Like he's been a really great Yankee. I think he's meant to play in pinstripes. He's one of those guys that thrives in New York. That said, I would rather have him at second base because he's not a natural third baseman. He can play over there. Yes. He also said after a post game, I think it was against Cleveland, that he thought he was done playing third base for his career. He thought it was, he's going to be playing second base moving forward for the Yankees, but then one injury happens and all of a sudden you got him playing third. I don't know. I'd rather have him playing second for sure. I don't know if there's a trade out there for a third baseman. We still got like a month and a half-ish till the trade deadline. I would think like DJ's kind of one of those Yankee. I think the Yankees have it ingrained in their mind that they have to play DJ LeMahieu because of the money they're paying him. And it's going to, he has a super, super, super long leash. It's going to take him hitting like 150 for them to make a move and replace him. But I think it's something that needs to happen. I think that's a weak point in the lineup. And Judge can't do everything. Like we need goalie's been coming along, but we need some production from some other dudes too.
You know who's going to be that third baseman for the Yankees probably if they go make a trade?
Who?
IKF.
And I saw he's been generating a lot of trade buzz.
It's IKF, man. You know it's going to be IKF.
He's had a good season for Pittsburgh. I don't know if he'd be able to do it in New York, though.
I mean, load up the vault, load up the clip.
His
IKF in New York, refresh the new Yankee fans and the people that don't know much about IKF's tenure in New York.
Well, the first couple years were rocky, but his last season, 2023, when the team wasn't very good, he had a solid season. So I don't know, he's good, versatile, plays a lot of positions, hits for a little bit of average. Not going to give you power, but I don't know. I mean, I think it's an upgrade over DJ LeMahieu, to be honest.
I mean, your options are that. Eugenio Suarez. I'm still pounding my hands on the table for Brendan Lau at second base, which he's on a power surge right now. So
and I mean the Yankees aren't going to trade with the Rays. The Rays aren't going to want to move him. The Rays are in contention.
Yeah, but when you look at it and to close the topic, put a bow on this for today, I think the most important thing that this weekend showed us is that they need bullpen arms. Like the bullpen is such a mess. Like you thought it was okay, but like I mean, Johnny Loaizaga, like okay, you were hurt, you're working your way back. He hasn't shown us anything to like be like, oh, okay, like he's getting back to form.
It's been 3 weeks since he's gotten called up. His first game was May 16th. It's time for him to start like being a little bit more lights out than what he is. Yeah. And
Johnny Loaizaga, Fernando Cruz is good, but I don't think you're going to be like, I think I was a little too high on Fernando Cruz, and I don't think he's going to be pitching in like high leverage. Like maybe, but I don't think it is.
Yeah, I don't think he's a high leverage guy. Can I just say before we move on from the Yankees, got to talk about Ben Rice. I think Ben Rice is probably one of the most unlucky players in baseball this year. He's hitting 241 with a 824 OPS. But if you look at the metrics on Baseball Savant, his expected batting average is 296. That's just a tick below 300. I mean, this guy's getting so unlucky. His average exit velocities are elite, 94 miles an hour. His barrel rate, hard hit percentage are all elite. Expected batting average, expecting slug, xWOBA, everything is super elite. He doesn't strike out that much. The only weakness I would say in terms of his arsenal is his stats against lefties. He struggled against lefties this season. So I see an elite hitter in Ben Rice. The metrics are there. You know, he's gotten extremely unlucky this season, but go look at early Jim Thome highlights. I'm telling you, he's not going to hit 600 plus home runs in his career. He's already 26 years old, but I see a 35 to 40 home run hitter in Ben Rice once some of these statistics level out a little bit. And when I was looking at, he just reminds me a little bit of Jim Thome. Obviously, later stage Jim Thome was a little bit heavier than what Ben Rice is right now. But if you look at a young Jim Thome in his highlights, the swing is very similar. Kind of got that uppercut, you know, a swing that's tailor-made to just park balls in right field. I can see 35 to 40 home runs for Ben Rice if he just isn't as like he's ripping the ball all over the field. And there's so many like last night, Abraham Toro made an insane diving catch on a Ben Rice line drive the other way. Like I see it with this guy. He's just gotten unlucky. And yeah, I think once this starts to even out a little bit, he could finish with, I don't know, 25, 30 home runs this season. But again, against lefties, he's got to figure it out. Another interesting thing on Boston is why call up Marcelo Meyer and play him at third base if you're only going to hit him against righties? I don't get that.
No, nothing in Boston's making sense. Like, I'm going to be honest. Like, Boston playing out of their minds this weekend doesn't make sense at all either. Like,
it was dudes like Abraham Toro having big weekends. Like, the second half of their lineup.
But that's the thing. Abraham Toro has this. Abraham Toro will have these couple weeks because I always fall for the Abraham Toro trap. Abraham Toro will be hitting like 300, 303, 305. We'll be hitting like a single or two a game. We'll have an elite 2 to 3 weeks. I'll fall for it in fantasy baseball, and then he'll just fall off a cliff. Like, that's just classic Abraham Toro. But
he's hitting 341 this season.
Yeah, well, he just got called up.
Yeah, well, he's been playing since mid-May.
Mid-May. I mean, yeah,
early May.
Well, yeah, but it's the Abraham Toro. But in regards to that, I mean, rate the weekend.
2.
You're very frustrated, right?
Of course, yeah.
You're not. You don't sound frustrated. That's the thing.
Well, I try to keep perspective on things. Like the season is still going well. Let's turn it around against Kansas City. This was a frustrating weekend, though, for sure.
Kansas City is going to be tough, though.
It's going to be a tough series.
It's going to be tough.
They just lost their series to the White Sox, though.
I mean, yeah, we'll talk about that next. But before we get into that, I feel like there's one thing we have to talk about. I think we have to talk about the tournament that starts this weekend out in Omaha. We have to talk about the College World Series. It is a double elimination best of 3 men's College World Series final. We super regionals for this weekend, and I know we were both locked into super regionals. We'll talk about them quickly because I know this is a major league podcast, but hey, it's baseball. We got to talk about it. We had a Louisville versus Miami. Louisville won the series in 3 games. You had Oregon State beat Florida State, which Oregon State went into Florida State, took over, and won.
It was in Oregon. It was in Oregon.
I thought it was in Florida.
No, it was in Oregon.
Excuse me. You had Arizona beat North Carolina. You had Coastal Carolina beat Auburn. You had
those 2 were upsets. Arizona and Coastal.
And then you had Arkansas. Let's talk about it. Arkansas beat Tennessee.
Oh, the baseball gods were in Fayetteville this weekend.
Did you see the pitcher? Well, I forgot his name.
The lefty?
The lefty who pitched Saturday.
Yeah.
It literally cussed out. I was like, that series was electric. Talk about it. I know you were watching that game. I was watching it. That pitcher looked pretty decent.
Yeah, BTA in Fayetteville. 4-3 on Saturday and then 11-4 yesterday. Arkansas, they're the high seed remaining. They're the 3 seed in the whole tournament. They're going on to Omaha. One of the few, I guess there's only 2 SEC teams make it, with LSU advancing yesterday against West Virginia. They won 12-5, kind of an easy series for them. Yeah, I'm obviously glad to see Tennessee eliminated. They're not going back to back. It's going to be an interesting Omaha. The last super regional we have is a game 3, Murray State versus Duke today. But you got some ACC representation. You got a Big Ten team. Interestingly enough, in UCLA, they took care of UTSA pretty handedly this weekend. So it should be, pretty fun. Coastal Carolina being the one non-Power 5 team. They won, obviously, the whole thing in 2016. They're trying to go win another one. But I think this is Arkansas's to lose, man. They were so close that one year when they dropped the fly ball in foul territory against Virginia. That probably still haunts their fan base and that team. I actually knew a guy that played on that team, played against him a lot in high school growing up and did a lot of baseball camps with him. But it's I think it's Arkansas's to lose this year. They got a bit of a powerhouse of a team.
But hey, how do you feel about Tennessee losing? Like, how does it feel?
Feels great. No secret that I'm not a Tennessee fan when it comes to baseball. So yeah, they had their moment last year, but it's not this year.
I liked I was watching Arkansas. You know who I liked off their team pause?
Who?
I like their catcher. Their catcher looks good, decent. I like their catcher. Their shortstop is a top 15 prospect guy for the draft. He reminded me a lot of his swing was very violent, very Javi Baez-esque.
Yeah, you texted me that on Saturday. I was at the gym after, but I had the game on. So yeah, I could see it. I still haven't done my deep dive into the draft stuff, which is, that's coming up pretty soon. So maybe I should get into that.
Liam Doyle, he'll be up soon. Liam Doyle could be the Cortland Finnegan. No, not Cortland Finnegan. He's a football player.
The dude from TCU. I can't remember his name either, but yeah, he was on TCU and I think in the College World Series in June, and then was in the Major League World Series for the Royals in, I think it was 2015.
Brandon Finnegan, that's what his name. Yeah, it was in 2014.
2014. So the one they lost.
Because Liam Doyle has a elite fastball. That fastball is pretty good, man.
Finnegan didn't really have much of a career, unfortunately. He only 5 seasons.
He got traded in the Reds trade for Johnny Cueto.
Hmm.
So Bringing up that TCU World Series, I just want to ask you a question because you know what the big thing about what Omaha is? It's about like from a fan's perspective, like all the fans show up and they all get rowdy.
Mhm.
From a fan perspective, is this the worst college World Series? Like from a fan base perspective, Arkansas, LSU. Arkansas and LSU. They'll both pull out. Like they'll turn out. Like
They don't like each other.
but they'll pull up. That's what I'm saying. They'll pull up.
Yeah.
I'm saying UCLA, nobody from UCLA, they probably don't even know that you have a baseball team.
Yeah. No, I don't think that. Yeah, exactly.
Duke and Murray State. You think Duke's gonna pull up?
No.
Will John Morant show up?
Maybe.
Okay. Coastal Carolina.
They'll have some fans. They'll have some fans. Arizona will have some fans for sure.
Louisville.
Yeah.
And then Oregon State.
It's a good program. How they have the Jell-O shots, Rocco's Jell-O shot challenge. LSU is going to lap the field this year. It's not even going to. There's no Arkansas is maybe the one school that's going to compete with LSU, but I'm telling you, LSU is going to win by. They're going to double whoever finishes in second.
You think they're going to double like that?
That's my prediction.
They clip it up, load up the clip. I think Arkansas is going to make it close. Arkansas is going to make this close. I think the only SEC schools that could probably go band for band and blow for blow with LSU is probably Bama and Georgia. Those are the only two I think that they can go close.
Yeah, Ole Miss maybe they won the national championship a couple years ago. I can't remember how that one netted out. I think Texas, if Texas made it. They were the number 2 overall seed, but lost in the regionals. Yeah. They would do pretty well.
But that's from a size perspective. Think about it. They're like Texas has a whole like state. I feel like it's impressive when Ole Miss does it, and that's why I think Arkansas is going to make it close. I don't think LSU is going to win. We may see a Livy Dunn appearance this weekend at the College World Series. It'll be interesting to see. I think that, like you said, Arkansas LSU will be the final.
Yeah, I don't think
not like the final, but it's going to be that. If whoever wins that one, it's probably going to win the whole thing.
Yeah, I got LSU winning big.
LSU big. Whoa. So you think over Arkansas?
Yes.
You don't believe in Arkansas?
No, I believe in the Hogs, but LSU's the different animal.
Can we also take a moment of silence here? Can we take a moment of silence right here? Because do you remember the last time Arizona was in the College World Series, runner-up, or in the series?
Did they lose to Fresno State?
They also Coastal Carolina. That was the last time Harambe. It was a lot. So
was that they lost to Coastal Carolina in the final series?
Yeah, in 2016. Coastal Carolina ended up going and playing Florida, and Coastal Carolina won 2-1. And then they lost to TCU, but then they won game 2 against TCU, and then they got to the finals and won.
Okay.
So, but hey, Harambe was alive. It's fitting. Like I feel, like I said, we'll be very interested to see because there's not a lot of SEC representation here.
Yeah.
You don't have your Mississippi States. You don't have your Ole Miss, your Florida. Like last year's finalists was the following. It was, let's look at the finalists from last year. You had Tony Vitello and Tennessee, the defending champions, were in. You had Kentucky, and you had A&M, and you had Florida. And none of them are back.
Yeah.
Hey, Kentucky last year had their first men's College World Series appearance last year.
They did, and then they lost, but a good season for them.
Good season for them, but again, you're putting the house on LSU.
To win the Jell-O shots, to win the whole thing, who knows?
What do you mean, who knows?
Who knows? It's baseball. Anything can happen. I guess we should also give a shout out to Texas. They won the Women's College World Series. They destroyed Texas Tech in the final game. The way they eliminated or the way Oklahoma got eliminated by Texas Tech, that game was electric.
I did not watch that.
Yeah, Oklahoma was down to their last strike, and then they hit a home run to tie it. But then Texas Tech hit a walk-off, like sac fly in the bottom half of the inning, and they won. They have her name's, I think, like Nigeri Kennedy, the pitcher for Texas Tech. she got $1 million NIL deal to go from Tech to go to Tech.
That's awesome. That's get paid. I mean, with the new house settlement that came in, that agreement,
Yeah.
schools can pay that NIL is going to get absolutely ridiculous. So, but that's a good idea. We should pitch. You know what we should do?
What's that?
Locked In Sports should open a bar or sponsor a bar to do a Jell-O shot tournament at the SEC tournament.
Okay. Instead of the College World Series?
No. They do it, but like the winner advances, like it's a spot at the College World Series. Like, you know.
It would be interesting to see if it was just strictly SEC teams, because those are always the teams in Omaha that do the best, but a lot of these SEC teams don't actually make it to Omaha. Yeah, it would be cool to see in the SEC tournament who comes out on top. Also, though, there's a couple teams that don't actually make the SEC tournament because there's so many teams in that conference now.
Well, who are going to make it this year? I know Texas A&M had an awful season this year.
I can't remember who didn't make it.
Let's look it up right now. So this year in 2024, let's look at. So they play in Hoover, Alabama. So I feel like it's slam dunk. We just need to open a bar in Hoover, Alabama. So
South Carolina barely made it. They were bad. 15. So South Carolina was the 15th seed. So everyone below that, Missouri didn't make it. They were the one team that didn't make it.
Missouri didn't make it.
Yeah,
they were 3-27. Jesus.
Yeah, 3-27 in conference.
Jesus,
that's horrible, man.
17. A&M was 11-19. Jesus. Missouri didn't make it. They played Bama.
So everyone made it then.
Everyone. That's what I'm saying. I feel if you were to do a Jell-O shot SEC tournament, because Big Ten cannot compete with the SEC.
No,
absolutely not. So, but hey, that was a lot of college talk. We're out of college. We're not going to be those dudes that are living up our glory days again. You know, we're not going to do that. Let's talk about weekend roundup. Let's run through some games, have some commentary. Let's talk about it. Miami versus Tampa, Battle of Florida, where there was an interesting game on Friday that started at 1 p.m., which you and me were like, why is it at 1 p.m.? But I had boots on the ground, and rumor was that it was because of a Metallica concert at Raymond James on Friday night. And Tampa ended up winning the series, winning on Friday 4-3, and then Sunday 3-2. Marlins won 11-10 on Saturday. Did you see the Ryan Weathers, headshot?
This peak Marlins. Yeah, they were throwing down to second base before the inning started, and he got drilled in the head. He cleared concussion protocol yesterday, I saw. So that's
but the velo was down, which is crazy. The velo after the pitch, everybody like on Twitter, like there's like Marlins fan UK, which I think it's pretty incredible that Marlins fans exist in UK. Like there's like a fan account, Marlins fan UK.
I had no. There's barely American fans for the Marlins. I can't believe that they have a UK account. That's impressive, I guess. Should we play I know the Jacksonville Jaguars play a ton of games in London. Should we get the Miami Marlins to go over and play in London too? They probably have more fans show up.
Hey, compared to last week, I think, last week's game was so depressing. Like, there's like the Miami Marlins are a running joke in this city. But hey, the best thing about the Marlins is it helps on the way. You know who's back today?
No.
Yuri Perez. First start back from TJ against the Pirates.
Oh, that's a barn burner series.
Talk about the series. If you're Marlins fans, you had to endure the Rockies, the Rays, and now the Pirates on back-to-back series. Like, the Rays aren't a bad team. They just don't play a brand of baseball that's, like, inspiring to watch. Like, you're not, like, waking up and, like, I'm going to put on the Rays game at Steinbrenner Field.
Yeah, they are playing really good baseball, though. They're 5 games over 500. They're owning the first wild card spot in the American League right now. They won their series. They swept Texas, won the series against the Marlins. They've been playing really good baseball. They haven't lost a series since the Marlins series in mid-May, so good series. They got a tough week, though. They're playing 3 in Boston and 3 against the Mets in Queens. We'll learn a lot about them this week. Shane McClanahan still hasn't pitched for them this season, so we'll see when he gets back. Junior Caminero, though, man, he's having a really good season for them. Morel had a big weekend, hit a lot of home runs. So look out for Tampa, man. I think they're pretty good. Their bullpen is 4th in ERA right now. and they lead the league in stolen bases. So it's a team to watch out for. I think they could get a wild card spot this year.
Yeah, they're saying McClanahan's back maybe early August, late July. So
still got some time for him.
Ways away. Pittsburgh with the sweep. What's going on? He had a Pittsburgh sweep and a Rockies sweep. Pittsburgh swept up Philadelphia, winning 5-4 on Friday, 2-1 on Saturday, and 2-1 yesterday. I mean, Paul Skeens said we had to do. They just got enough runs.
They barely got enough, but they did. They won a Paul Skeens start finally.
They finally did. I mean, I watched that Saturday game, man. They are awful. You know,
Philly? I mean, Philly's playing awful right now.
Both of them. Yeah, like they're both awful. Like I think Philadelphia, man. How do you lose a series versus the Pirates?
I mean, not only lose, they got swept.
I mean, it is awful.
I think if you look at what Schwarber's been doing, you look at his splits. In June, he's hitting 143 with a 422 OPS, only one home run in 28 at-bats. It's still a small sample size, but it's something to watch. He's cooled off a little bit. Now you got Bryce Harper landed out on the injured list with the wrist thing. Swept by the Pirates. That's concerning. And now New York is kind of taking control of that division. They just swept the Rockies, which we don't need to talk about that series. It's the Rockies. But the Mets are 4.5 up right now. And the Phillies, they're playing Chicago this week. Tough series. Like none of their stats as a team are that impressive, except the Ks per 9 from starting pitchers. They lead the league. But other than that, like you look at these team stats, they're kind of middle of the pack and everything.
Are we rounding the alarms on Philadelphia?
What'd you say? Sorry, I missed that.
Are we putting the alarms on in Philadelphia?
A little bit. Yeah, because the team feels old.
We talked about that defense either. They don't play defense. Their defense isn't great. And like some of the managerial decisions that they made, and I kind of feel like it was interesting yesterday on Saturday. And I keep saying yesterday because
it feels like Sunday.
Feels like Sunday. But it's just interesting because, you know, you look at their lineup card on Saturday and it kind of felt like they wanted to like get by and like, oh, it's the Pirates. We could start whoever. They started Edmundo Sosa over Bryson Stott. Brandon Marsh over Johan Rojas over Brandon Marsh. And then Weston Wilson over Max Kepler. So it kind of seems like they played like a B squad lineup in a way.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. They just don't play good defense either. I mean, their pitching's good. Starting pitching's good, but
they're just kind of old. They remind me a little bit of old Yankee teams.
Yeah. So, but hey, shout out Pittsburgh, man. Giving the fans the state of Pennsylvania. They at least own something, you know.
They're only 14 games under 500 right now.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about Arizona versus Cincinnati. Cincinnati with a sweep, 4-3, which the game finished up Saturday, 13-1 on Saturday, and then 4-2 Sunday. Can we talk about how bad Arizona is?
And since we last recorded, it's confirmed that Corbin Burns is out for the season and probably a good chunk of next year with Tommy John surgery.
I'd like to ask you, do you think that's a bad contract?
Well, now I think it looks like a bad contract, yeah.
But like, I feel like, again, paying pitchers a premium price is something, you know, that you have to think twice about. Look at it. Corbin Burns, 30 years old, and you paid him a multi-year commitment, a base salary for 6 years of $30 million, which now you look at it and he's not pitching anymore this year. He won't probably because it's probably a 12-month recovery. And let's think about it. When he's a high-priced asset, you're not going to rush your asset back. So then it's 2027, which he has an opt-out in 2027.
He's not going to opt out, though.
He's committed for 4 more years at $30 million. That's tough.
Yeah,
yeah.
It's a lot of money. $70 million basically for the first 2 seasons, and you're basically getting 2 months of starts because he's now out. And yeah, he's not going to opt out after 2026 because he's not going to pitch much in 2026. He's not going to get $35 million a year after that. So he's under contract through 2030. He'll be 35 at that point. Tough. I mean, felt so good about this rotation coming into the season, and this is just a devastating blow. They're hitting, but they're just not pitching. The pitching's been terrible for Arizona, and you just get swept by the Reds, who are bang at 500 every single time I check the record. And now you're 7.5 back in the division. You're 3 games under 500. You got Seattle and San Diego this weekend, so things don't get that much easier.
Well, Seattle's slumping, so I mean that might be another interesting series to watch.
Yeah, the Seattle is slumping, but also like you just got swept by the Reds, so in theory you can lose to anybody. Corbin Carroll's cooled off a little bit. Ketel Marte is just the freaking tank, though, man.
But I think we need to go back and look at the whole thing about spending on starting pitching, like at a certain age, making these multi-year investments. Bob Nightingale posted up yesterday in his Sunday column on USA Today the last 4 marquee signings for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Corbin Burns, 6 years, $210 million. You already know he's out this year and next year.
Wait, what? Oh, you said Corbin Burns. I thought you said Corbin Carroll.
No. Jordan Montgomery, 2 years, $47.5 million. He's not pitching this year due to injury.
Out for the season.
And he's pitched in 21 starts. He's 8-7 and a 6.23 ERA. Eduardo Rodriguez, 4 years, $80 million, 19 starts, 4 wins, 7 losses, and a 5.99 ERA. So a shade under 6. And then Madison Bumgarner, he had a 5-year, $85 million contract. In 69 starts, he went 15-32 and a 5.23 ERA. Like Arizona, it just seems like that's where like old pitchers get paid. Like if you're over 30, like they will pay you to just be like bare mid or below mid. Just be bad.
Yeah, the one contract that you feel good about was the Corbin Carroll extension. 8 years, $111 million. He's been great, but other than that, yeah, it's kind of grim when you really break it down like that.
But my thing is just like, what do you do at the deadline? If you're Arizona, what do you do? Like it's looking like you're not going to be there. What are you doing?
I think you should sell. I mean, you got like some pieces that you can hold on to. Carroll, Perdomo, Marte, Suarez is a free agent, but I think you can continue, like you can build around Carroll and Marte and then like trade out some of these pieces. Like Zach Allen's a free agent, Suarez is a free agent, trade those guys. I think those guys should be names that are moved at the deadline. Not much in the bullpen that interests me, to be honest. So those are probably the 2 main names that I look at.
Merrill Kelly
too. Yep. Forgot about him.
Arizona's going to own the deadline. Like I think Arizona holds all the keys to the deadline, if you think about it.
Yeah. I mean, they're the one team that has a lot of talent that is bad. Maybe the Braves, but it seems like the Braves don't want to sell for whatever godforsaken reason. That team can't win.
Well, that's a interesting point. Let's go to Atlanta now. So Atlanta had a series in San Francisco, and they lost Friday 5-4 in 10 innings. Craig Kimbrell pitched after getting called up and got DFA'd. Saturday, Bryce Elder went 8 strong, 1 earned, 12 strikeouts on 107 pitches, and Matt Chapman got a walk-off home run to win that game. And then the Giants won yesterday 4-3. They got swept. And there's an interesting note that I want to bring up with in regards to the Braves. So the Braves are super interesting in the fact that we had expected them to be, a little bit better with the return of Ronald Acuna. So Ronald Acuna returned May 23rd, and they've played 15 games since. Their record since the return of Ronald Acuna is 3-12. And by no means am I calling that Ronald Acuna is the issue on that team, but it's just kind of alarming that you get a really good player, an all-star MVP level player back into your lineup, and you're not getting wins.
They're almost inventing ways to lose at this point.
Yeah. And again, in the Bob Nightingale column, he said that despite Atlanta's, I'm quoting off the USA Today article, despite Atlanta's frustrating season in which they're in danger of missing the postseason for the first time since 2017, Brian Snitker's job appears to be safe. But there's rumors that he's going to retire. And then the other thing is, no matter where Atlanta is at the trade deadline, the team isn't expected to be a seller, with the possible exception of Marcell Ozuna, who's a free agent. So they're going to run it back with Chris Sale, Strider, and healthy Acuna.
It doesn't make sense. You're not good enough. You're 10 games under 500 with what you got now. You're not going to be in it. You got a lot of talent. I know that a lot of these guys are locked up long term. Like you're not going to trade Austin Riley, but you're going to keep Drake Baldwin. You're going to keep Acuna, but I don't know. There's guys on this team that I think people would be interested in. I look at a Chris Sale. I look at a Chris Sale, maybe like a Michael Harris as a defensive outfielder, Azuna for sure as a DH. I mean,
Raciel Iglesias.
Definitely not Iglesias.
Hey,
but
how do you feel about Raciel Iglesias and pinstripes coming out?
No. Mid relief maybe, but he's been struggling as a closer.
What is your thoughts on Raciel Iglesias? Why don't you tell the people how you really feel?
I think he's a liability. He's a liability for the Braves, and he didn't pitch at all this weekend. You saw Pierce Johnson get a save situation, and he blew it on Saturday. I don't know what the hell happened with Craig Kimbrell. That was weird. They called him up for a game, and then he's gone, DFA'd. He's waiting in the minor leagues basically all season for him, and then you call him up for one game. I don't get it. They're making some weird decisions. I for whatever reason, my phone is tapped into the Braves algorithm on Twitter, and those fans are not happy right now. They are not happy. I mean, they're obviously deservedly so, but it's just kind of interesting to see. They don't like the manager. They don't like some of the decisions they're making as a front office. It's really grim in Atlanta right now. It's weird because they have so much talent.
Yeah. Let's go to St. Louis. I mean, Alden's Cardinals winning 2 in a row this weekend. Cardinals win 5-0 on Friday, Saturday 2-1, and the Dodgers came back to scrape a game 7-3. I mean, the Dodgers with the emotes not getting the wins. I mean, they blew it on Saturday. They had the win yesterday. How are you feeling about that one?
Alden was blowing up my phone this weekend. He was obviously really happy. Sonny Gray had a great start on Friday. They won that game 5-0. Tony Gonsolin lands on the injured list. And I don't know what the Dodgers do with their pitching development system and their training staff, but maybe the front office invests in too many guys that get injured. But their injured list is insane when it comes to pitchers. I mean, it's like 15, 16 dudes at this point. They could build an all-star team with the guys they have on the injured list in their starting rotation.
They can build 2 rotations.
It's insane.
Their injured rotation is better than the Baltimore Orioles rotation.
Yes. I don't even think it's with that. That's no question. I mean, yeah, right now they got Dustin May, Jose Urania, Justin Robliski scheduled to start the San Diego series. I mean, those are Urania and Robliski are probably 2 guys that most fans haven't heard of. And it's the Los Angeles Dodgers. They spend $1 billion every offseason. It feels like crazy. And the Cardinals, fun win for them on Saturday. I mean, 2 blown saves in a row for Ryan Helsley, or he blew a save on Thursday against the Royals. And then he blew a save on Saturday against the Dodgers. But Arenado hit that walk-off single. So nice win for the Cardinals. And then the Dodgers did take care of business on Sunday. But I don't know, man. At some point, you start to worry about this pitching rotation for the Dodgers because it doesn't seem like Glasnow's going to come back anytime soon. Same thing for Blake Snell. Like those are the 2 main dudes that you really need back. I don't know. I mean, your playoff rotation is going to be Yamamoto and then a lot of question marks in the playoffs if it's as is.
Mm-hmm. Let's go. What happened with the nation's capital, Texas, Washington. Texas won the series. Runs finally got put on the board. They put up 5 runs on Saturday, winning 5-0, and yesterday 4-2. They're finally picking it up a little bit.
Yeah,
maybe too late.
Picking it up a little bit. Not much offense in this series at all. Texas, they got shut out 2-0 on Friday. That was their 9th time being shut out this season as a lineup. Patrick Corbin was good in his return to Washington, though. 8 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, no walks, 2 strikeouts, and a home run allowed. Michael Soroka was great in that game for Washington. They got that win, but then the Rangers won the 2 games over the weekend. DeGrom was really good on Saturday. 7 innings, 2 hits, no earned runs, no walks, 8 strikeouts, only 81 pitches. His ERA is down to a 2.12 ERA. It's the 4th time this season that DeGrom has not given up a run in a start. He has been almost Jacob DeGrom of old. Changing it up a little bit. He's not overpowering people. He's more of a pitcher, you could say, like using his pitches, pitch mix and stuff like that. But great season for him. Texas, I mean, with the struggles that we're seeing from Seattle, maybe they could get back into this thing in that division. They're only 5.5 back, and it's June. So I'm not ready to write them off yet.
Yeah. Houston, Cleveland. Houston winning Friday 4-2 and Saturday 5-3. Guardians win yesterday. Again, just a series where both teams played some really good defense. Runs were played, good pitching. Just some middling teams in Major League Baseball.
Well, I wouldn't say Houston's middling. They're 7 games over 500, first place in the American League West right now. I think they're probably, I don't know. I mean, they're in pole position to win that division. Fangraphs has got them at 76% chance to make the playoffs.
I need to watch more Houston to get a good view. I watched Saturday's game, but wasn't like no takeaways from me for that one. Kansas City, Chicago, White Sox. White Sox won Friday and Saturday, 7-2, 4-1, and then the Royals won yesterday. I'm gonna hold on to my Royals take to the next podcast, and I want to watch a little more of the White Sox. But I think the Central Block is cooking with 2 really nice teams. I think the White Sox are building something nice. I mean, Kyle Teal debuted this weekend, and I'm liking Kansas City. I wanna see what's up with them when they play New York.
Yeah, I agree. I'll withhold my Royals takes for after we watch the series this week because their lineup feels a little different. I know it didn't play that well over the weekend against the White Sox, but it feels a little different with Caglione in there. And then you got Vinny hitting now, and obviously Bobby Witt playing at an MVP level. I don't know. They're kind of a team to watch, certainly. They're 2 games over 500. They're way back in the division, but they could be a wild card team. And yeah, I kind of like what the White Sox are building right now, but we'll maybe talk about them another episode more.
Yeah, let's talk about San Diego, Milwaukee. San Diego goes into Milwaukee and takes 2, winning Friday 2-0, Sunday 1-0, and then Saturday Brewers won 4-3. A very low scoring series.
Yeah, really good pitching. Machado got booed heavily on Friday in his return. He homered in the 8th to make it 2-0. He had a really good weekend. Robert Suarez continues to be elite, best closer in the sport. The Padres have 12 shutouts on the season as a team. Really impressive. Machado got booed because of the 2018 NLCS when he ran into the first baseman. Brewers fans don't forget. So he's had a really good career. I think he's kind of a sleeper Hall of Famer. I think he hit his 350th career home run last week. He's up to 352 now. So, I mean, I don't know. He's one of the better third basemen of this generation. He's kind of a borderline Hall of Famer, I would say right now. But
he got the Gold Gloves. So
he's got the Gold Gloves. That's for sure. He's got how many of these? He got 2 Gold Gloves. He'd probably have more if Nolan Arenado
if he was in the AL. So Toronto, Minnesota. We got to talk about Toronto, man. Toronto is 8-2 in their last 10, and they won the series. They were 9-1. They'd won 9 out of their last 10 after Saturday's game, but Minnesota won on Sunday 6-3. How are we feeling about Toronto? I think Toronto, they got guys like Addison Barger has a really nice savant page. I don't know if you've seen his savant page. Vladdy Jr.'s savant page is due for some positive regression. I think Vladimir Guerrero Jr.'s is, he's like Ben Rice. He's one of the most unluckiest hitters in Major League Baseball right now.
Yeah, the Jays scare me a little bit, to be honest. They have a good rotation led by Berrios, Bassett, and Gausman. And Bowden Francis has had some good starts too this season. But Berrios has had a nice throwback season. Their offense is banging right now. Vladdy, if you look at his savant page, his batting average is 273 and his expected batting average is 322. I mean, that's crazy. That's a crazy variance there. They got St. Louis and Philly this week. So probably a pretty tough week for them. But they kind of got some dudes that are producing that no one's talking about. You mentioned Addison Barger. He's sitting in the 3 slot for them. Alejandro Kirk has had a decent season.
He's having one of the most underrated defensive seasons, and they're getting Philadelphia at the wrong time. Philadelphia is 1 out of their last 10.
Right time for Toronto, wrong time for Philly.
Yeah,
and then Springer's been good for them this year. Had a good weekend. Yeah, they're a team to watch right now. They're only 4.5 back in the American League East right now. Jeff Hoffman's been strong for them. Might need to put some respect on their name.
Yeah, man. They're playing good ball. Baltimore was only able to get 1. I mean, the Baltimore hype train took a little bit of to gas off the accelerator. A's won Friday 5-4 and Sunday 5-1. Orioles won 7-4. The pen was really nice for Baltimore, going 6 2/3 scoreless
on Saturday. Yeah.
I mean, A's stink.
Mason Miller had a 5-out save on Friday, his 13th of the year. He was really good. Got out of a jam in the 8th. Denzel Clark, really good center fielder for the
That's
A's, made a hell of a catch on Friday night. Had to leave the game because of injury though. But yeah, he played yesterday, so he's fine. But he's really good to watch, fun player to watch. And yeah, I think the A's or the Orioles hype train did take a bit of a hit this weekend. I mean, I thought they were going to win that series. They got Detroit at home and then the Angels at home this week. So Detroit's going to be a really tough series. They avoid Skubal. Oh no, they're just kidding. They get Skubal on Thursday. So have fun with that.
I mean, Detroit with Skubal, man, 3-1 on Friday with Skubal. Skubal was electric. The crowd out there at Comerica was great. Skubal has had 95 strikeouts to 3 walks, which is incredible.
Well, that's over his last 11 starts. He has 95 strikeouts to 3 walks, 6-0 record with a 1.16 ERA, 13 earned runs and 72.2 innings pitched in that span. That's crazy.
Cubs won Saturday 6-1, and then the Tigers won 4-0.
I mean, we got to talk about Skubal. It's one of the biggest storylines that I think is flying under the radar right now, but it's the pending contract extension for Tarik Skubal. He's got one more year of arbitration next year in 2026, and then he's a free agent. And there have been some extension talks, but it's a major question of are the Tigers going to extend this guy? And their general manager, Jeff Greenberg, went on MLB Network Radio over the weekend to talk about the contract extension talks. And if I'm a Tigers fan, I think these quotes make me a little bit nervous about extending Skubal. He's obviously the best pitcher in the league right now. He's 28 years old. He's in his prime. He's going to get a major payday. You would expect him to get more than what Max Fried got over the offseason, which was 8 years, $218 million. In the appearance on MLB Network Radio, I'm reading this from a Sports Illustrated article. He was asked about the contract extensions and the negotiations, and he said, quote, obviously elite talent and elite compete. Not really sure what that means. He's constantly looking to get better in terms of the extension stuff. Tigers president of baseball ops, Scott Harris, and I have talked about it since we got here. One of the foundational goals here is to acquire, develop, and retain as much elite talent as we can. We're going to keep those conversations behind closed doors. And then this is a red flag to me. Greenberg pointed out that the team extended the contract of infielder Colt Keith prior to last season without much fanfare, making the announcement when it was ready to be made. These things always take two sides to find common ground on alignment. Green added, I think in general, it's something we're always going to be open to, but beyond that, I don't think it's fair to the players or the organization to really discuss those things out in the open. It's important to note that he is a Boras client. What are your thoughts? Those are concerning comments if I'm a Tiger fan.
I think you said it best. He's a Boras client. And you know how Boras client free agencies go. Tigers fans, get ready. It's going to be an uneasy winter coming up in 2 years. You saw what happened with Juan Soto. You've seen Boras in the past. You might as well just get ready for anything.
What's your prediction? Where does he go? Does he stay?
Man, I don't know. It's 2 years out.
I think he stays. I think he's loyal to Detroit. I think he wants to win there. But the Tigers got to give the contract. They were the Tigers aren't a team that's been afraid to spend money. They gave Miguel Cabrera a big extension. They were in the works for Alex Bregman. They paid Gleyber Torres this offseason. They played Jack Flaherty. They do spend money, but this is different, man. This is going to be a mega deal. It's going to be, I mean, you could argue he could get $400 million.
They could be. He's there. The Tigers are now linked with Alex Bregman again if he opts out, and they are linked with Kyle Tucker. Did you see the commentary this weekend that happened this week?
No.
They asked him, what do you think about AJ Hinch and maybe a reunion? I sent you the link on Twitter, and he was like, we'll see.
The Tucker extension talks are interesting too. I don't think he resigns in Chicago.
Does he want to be in Chicago? Or
I don't know if he wants. I mean, they got a good team, but
does he want to be in New York?
I don't think he wants to be in New York. For some reason, he strikes me as a warm weather guy. I could see him going to somewhere in Texas, like maybe go back to the Astros, or if they pay him, I don't think they will. But go to Texas, go to a Florida team. Well, he's probably not going to go to a Florida team, but
yeah, he's not going to his team either.
California, Dodgers, I could see that. I could see San Diego. I see him as a warm weather guy.
He said, we'll see. You never know what lies ahead on a potential AJ Hinch reunion.
Is he a Boras client?
No, he's not a Boris client.
He's not?
No, because then if Kyle Tucker was a Boris client, the Yankees would not be in.
Oh, he's Excel Sports Management. Yeah.
So, anyways,
Garrett Cole is a Boris client, and the Yankees did get a deal with him.
Yeah, well, I have my opinions on that. I'll save for another podcast.
Okay.
Seattle, final game of the weekend. Seattle Angels. Seattle is struggling. Angels won the series 2 out of 3. Kyle Hendricks got 100 on Friday. Big Dumper is incredible. I mean, the Mariners, it's your typical Mariners baseball season. You start out really hot, great. You inspire hope into the fan base, and then you go 3 out of 10 in your last 10. Like, you're just garbage cans.
Yeah.
They're saying they will be buyers at the deadline.
Of course.
I mean, of course, they always are. But at this point, it's tough. They got to go try to get a Josh Naylor maybe and Nathaniel Lowe at first base. I think that's the answer for them.
George Kirby had a great start yesterday. 7 innings, 14 strikeouts. He was fantastic, but their team is not playing that well. Cal Raleigh had 2 home runs on Saturday. Yeah, he's up to 26 on the season, but they lost 8-6.
I'll be honest. If they were winning a little bit more, he should be the MVP. He should be in the conversation. It should be closer than people think. I don't think he should be the MVP, but I think it should be closer. Like, think about it. You take Cal Raleigh away and Judge away from their teams, those teams stink. And, catchers producing the WAR that he's producing, it doesn't happen that much. The only catcher that's probably done that, and just thinking off the top of my head, is Johnny Bench. So,
well, that makes me think, let's pull up the all-time WAR leaders and catchers.
Oh boy. You
can do that on Fangraphs. Catchers. All right. All-time leader in WAR for catchers is Johnny Bench. Good call. You'll never guess number 2, but it's a Hall of Famer, Gary Carter. Played for the Expos. And then Ivan Rodriguez, Carlton Fisk, Yogi Berra, Mike Piazza, Joe Torre, Buster Posey, Bill Dickey, and Yadier Molina round out the top 10.
No Jason Varitek for Red Sox fans crying out their lungs.
No, you got Posada at 29, and I'm still Brian McCann 15th all time in WAR amongst catchers. That's crazy. Still trying to find Varitek. Wow, he's way down there.
It doesn't exist.
Oh, he's 88th.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Good ball player.
Negative 22.8 BSR. Oh, that's
awful base runner.
Awful base runner. Good defensive ratings though. Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't think he'd be that. I thought he'd be higher. 1,546 career games.
But yeah, that wraps up the weekend in the majors this weekend. William, do you have anything to close out today? Anything to say?
That's it. Hit the subscribe button. Trying to get to 100 subscribers on YouTube by the end of the year. I think we're at 44 right now, so we've gained some over the last week. Let's get 50 by July. Puts us halfway to our goal in the middle of the year. But thank you for listening. This was a fun episode, despite the Yankee struggles.
It was. Bang.
All right, we'll be back later in the week, recapping the Yankees-Royals. But until then, we'll catch you guys next time. Peace out.